I want to get. Okay, so today is going to be Mobility Wednesday. I'm going to say hit the floor, or, that needs to be part of this kind of a workout that we're going to do. Have your pad ready. Yes. And to tell you the truth, what you need to have ready that you can grab for this particular workout is your pole. So I'm going to get my little pole, one of my favorite poles. I used to use dowels. I had a whole bunch of dowels at class in the gym. This is just the end of, I put some masking tape on the ends, and this is just a mop handle. That's perfect. So get yourself a mop handle and you get your pad. We're going to wake our feet up. We're going to do a whole core range of motion right now. So I'm going to step right here and step right here, and I'm just going to do a little walk. See that? So it's just a little walk, a little walk, and a little walk. I'll pull back a little bit more, make sure you're seeing me. I'm going to turn that on. I think you can see me better. I hope so. Anyway, here's my bar, and look what I'm doing. This is Mobility Wednesday. And I'm going to put, when you are having trouble moving, make sure you hit the floor. And we're going to have our pad in place, and we have our bar. If you don't have a bar, just grab your tea towel. I just need something in your hands, okay? I like the bar because it helps me keep my hands in line. I can't drop one or the other just willy-nilly, okay? Okay, see how I'm doing this? So here's the deal. You think, well, she's just walking in place. Well, yes. However, I'm barefooted. And however, I'm on this pad. Okay? Let me tell you, if you're barefooted and you're doing this kind of a walk, it's a walk in place. And then you start to elevate the knee as you bring your hands down on your bar, and then you just bring it right here under your chin. If you start to elevate your knee as you're walking in place like this, it's a simple walk in place. Every once in a while, you'll see me checking, where am I on the pad? Because if you don't check where you're at on the pad and you're on an unstable surface, by virtue of that, you're going to lose your balance. So I'm warning you, this is not as simple as it looks, okay? And it's a very good way to warm up not only your feet, but your whole body gently. So I'm on my pad, I'm checking to make sure I'm not drifting. And when you're walking on your pad like this, I wouldn't be turning my head a lot to looking everywhere. We'll do that when we're on the floor. Sorry, the dogs are antsy this morning. See how I got my palms down? So I started you in the palm down position. I went ahead and put my gloves on because it gives your hands support. Hi to everybody. I saw some of you coming on. Okay, so now I've slowed down and I'm doing an exaggerated knee lift, and I drop my chin and I glance down to see where I'm at on the pillow, on the little pad on the floor. See that? Now I'm going to go back to a quicker walk in place, but I'm not exaggerating my knee lift. Okay. And so now when I'm in my quicker one, I'll keep glancing down. And how do I do that? I drop my chin. I glance with my eyes. Okay. But I'm going to turn my hands up now. Okay. Then I'm going to go a little wider. And I'm going to take a big breath through my nose. And I'm going to breathe out, exhale through my nose. So we're going to do a lot of breathing in and out through the nose. I will keep reminding you of that. But when you're on the floor, I'm going to go through the whole basics of how to do deep breathing. as we're on the floor. I'm going to try to simplify it for you. Okay, so I feel myself moving around on my pillow. I feel myself going to one side versus the other side. And this is a pretty quick, stepping in place. And I'm on an unstable surface. Open those toes out if you can. And feel the pressure on all four corners. This is doing much more than you ever would think by just doing this. Now, if you're doing this whole thing with me right now, and you're going a little quicker, you're bringing these hands up, and as I bring it up under my chin, I tell myself to drop my shoulders. You should be feeling the need to breathe a little deeper just by doing this little step in place. Keep your elbows down as you pull in and pull back. So it's a push-pull. See, I'm pulling up, then I'm pushing back down. So this is a very good example of a great push-pull with your palms up. It makes my shoulders want to open a little bit more. See, my palms are up. See this? I've got just a couple more seconds in this little warm up. What's the very first thing that any of you who've gone to physical therapy, what's the very first thing that they have you do? Yeah, they have you on a treadmill or a bike or an elliptical, and you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, I'm paying for this physical therapy and all they do is put me on a bike or a treadmill or whatever. It's because that's a very important part of what they're going to do with you. You got to get warmed up. And so I'm showing you a very simple way to, number one, wake up your feet. Number two, wake up your proprioceptiveness, because I'm on this little pad. And when you're doing this kind of walking in place, you drift. You'll drift to the side a little bit. You'll drift to the front. You'll drift to the back. You'll feel the edge. Bingo. Now we're turning it into an anti-falling exercise, okay? And I'm constantly pulling my bar up and down, and I'm keeping it under my chin. My palms are up. Those of you who have had shoulder issues, which I had my own shoulder issue all last week, I'm happy to report to you, oh my goodness, no pain at all yesterday in movements because I backed off. I didn't put pressure on it. Tap down and come back up, okay? Put your hands face down now, tap down and come back up. So let me reiterate, drop my shoulders, in through the nose, out through the nose. When you bend, you're bending at the hip, you're bending at the knee. So when I put my toe out here, see what you didn't see probably is that I did a hip hinge. When you do a hip hinge, oh my goodness, your whole back extensors really get on board, okay? They're warmed up now because of our stepping in place on our little pad, okay? And I'm warning everybody who's coming on this morning to get ready because, and again, I will tell you if somebody pulls this up on an iPad, on a YouTube, and my YouTube channel is again Fitness Concepts with an S, plus Plus. You see my picture? Click on it, and you will see it. I'll load this one and Mondays this afternoon, and you will get a Zoom link for the next 3 months of workouts this afternoon. I'm hoping to get it out this afternoon at the latest tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, see what I'm doing? I'm doing a constant step out, but what you're not seeing me do is drift into the step out leg, because I want you to put just a little pressure on a body load. That's why I'm keeping my weight centered on the supporting leg as I do this simple push pull, little arm press down, press, pull back up. Okay, now we'll step down and we'll just reach right down like that. But let me ask you right now, right this minute, when you did this, is this knee bent and is your butt pushing back? That's very important to check those parameters. So I'm going to step out, but I'm going to push my butt back with my rib cage up, and then I'm going to swing those arms. See, I'm not swinging my body. I'm not swinging my hips. Nope. Tight tummy, in through the nose, out through the nose. Step, okay? Push your butt back. So if I were with you right now, I would tap here to see if this is really engaged, and then I would just see if that back is really nice and extended. I don't want any flexion right now at all. So I'm pushing my butt back. Okay, so by doing it this way, warming us up with some exaggerated moves and with some quicker moves, small, quicker moves, working my upper body as well as my lower body, I'm pretty warmed up. Okay, take a big breath in through the nose, out through the nose, and we're going to be doing that in a minute. And so we're going to have, if you have anything around, I might use my pad across my abdomen to demonstrate, or I might get a book. I'll get a book. You could use your cell phone. You could use a book. Is always a good thing to do. Okay, see how I'm doing this? I'm giving my shoulders a chance to work against gravity. Yeah, and to do this little stirring. It's a pendulum. Do you see how my elbows are down? Do you see that? Do you see that I do not have my elbows up above my head at all? Do you see how they're down here at my waist? See, I don't want to do this up here. I want to do it down here. I'm going to keep my chin tucked. I'm going to go one way and then I'm going to go the other way. But look at my elbows. Wow, this is quite a different move. I want to keep my elbows down as I do this kind of a stirring of the pot. I'll call it that. Okay. Okay. So here is my bar. I'm going to keep it right here at my station. All right. And we're going to do a lot of work either on your hands and knees. And let's say you don't want to get on the floor. You can do almost everything using your chair instead of the floor. So if you want to do a lot of this stuff, no matter what we do, if you want to do it with the chair instead of the floor, that is perfectly fine. Just keep checking and I'll try to, on my positional whereabouts, and you'll see what I'm talking about if you choose to do it from the chair. Okay, so use your little pad on the floor if you happen to have problems with your knees. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to come right here into the chair. I'm going to step back. I'm going to stretch through my heel before I go down to the floor. Now we're going to do some of this on the floor with my toe down and stretching my leg back. And again, I hope that you're following what I'm talking about on this Mobility Wednesday. And even though I'm going to be in the floor for a lot of the time today, showing you some very important mobility and strength moves, if you choose not to get in the floor, that is perfectly fine. Okay, you can do everything from the chair or a wall, something to lean against. That's all that's required, really. Now, if you can, see your way through of getting into the floor, then that would be my preference. So see, I'm going to step back and I'm going to help myself to the floor. See that move? This is a move that's a very important move to put in your belt of activities that you can do, that you feel comfortable that you can do it. Okay. So when you go to get up, some of you might have too tight of knees. So I'm going to just put my hand on my chair and I'll just push off of my little pad here and I'll get that knee off the floor. Then I'll switch. So I'm giving you some really good experience in this particular move. So I'm going to bend the back knee. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to come all the way down into the floor. Okay. And now I'm confident that I can get down and up on both legs. Okay. So here I go. I'm going to come right on down to the floor. And again, if you choose not to get into the floor, that's fine. Do it from the chair and your feet. That will be okay, because you might, excuse me. See, this is the advantage of having Zoom when I'm the only one in the room. You can sneeze and not think that everybody's heading for the hills because they don't want to get what you have. All I had was a tickle in my nose. Okay, here I am. I'm on all fours. Some of you find this to be maybe uncomfortable. If it is uncomfortable on your knees, of course, put your pillow here and put your knees under it. It's amazing how much better that is if you tend to have pain in the knees when you're on your hands and knees. And if you must, of course, go back to the chair. So here I am. I'm going to bring one hand up. So I'm going to start the work right here. I'm going to reach out. I don't care which hand. Whatever hand it is that you're working with, take it out. Bring it back to your forehead. Bring it out. Now, when you bring it back to the top of your head, you want to keep your chin tucked. Don't let your head drop here. Okay, then I'm going to put that hand down. I'm going to tighten on the other side of my stomach. I'm going to bring the arm up. I'm going to reach out and bring that thumb right back to the top of my head. And now here I want to ask you, Mac's trying to help me. Mac, go lay down. Go lay down. They can't see what I'm doing. He thinks I'm going to play. Keep your elbow soft, okay? Keep your shoulders tucked down. It's very important. And see, now this is the first day that I've really put pressure on this shoulder, okay? So it's my whole body weight pressure. Okay, see how I'm going out and back, keeping my chin tucked. I'll keep correcting because you have a tendency to do this or to do this. And you don't want to do either. You want to stay in neutral with your cervical spine. Okay, because it's working against gravity in this position. It breaks down, the benefits break down when you don't keep your chin tucked and keeping a good neutral spine. Now put that hand down, take a big deep breath, and we're gonna just push back just a bit and then back forward. So my elbows are bent. I'm gonna go wide. I'm on my fist, or you can be on your hands. It's whichever works best for you. I have my knees on my little pillow. Now see how I'm going wider with my hands? So I'm going to bend my elbows and I'm going to bring the chest or my ear down and then come back up. All right. So this is what's called a modified push-up. Okay. What's modified about it? Well, I'm putting pressure all through my trapezius, my deltoids, all through my upper back and shoulder area, okay? And the bend right here is what makes it modified. See, this is the same, okay? This kind of motion is the same whether I do it here or whether I'm out like a full push-up. What's different? What's different is I'm at a 90 degree with my hip hinge. See that? And I'm just trying, every time I do this, I'm trying to keep my elbows in, turned in as I come down, okay? And I'm just gonna do a couple more. I'm not doing a ton of repetitions today, but I am doing loads that will address strength issues and mobility issues in the shoulder, okay? So here I go. I'm gonna come off of my pillow, put my pillow here. I'm gonna push my chair back a bit, okay? And I'm gonna come right here and I'm gonna turn and sit down to the side. See this elbow? Okay, come over here, Mac. Come on. Come on, Mac. This is Mac, my dog. Come on. He doesn't know what he's supposed to do. But at least he matches me. He's black and white. Come here, Mac. Come here. Come here, Mac. This is like doing exercises with your kid or your grandkids. So if you're going to do some of these, this would be perfect to do with your grandkids. So here's the deal. If this bothers your elbow, of course, put this pad under it. But generally, you can be right here and you're on a mat or whatever. Okay, let me just tell you, this right here, putting pressure into my elbow with my shoulder right above my elbow, there's no pain for me this morning doing this, okay? This is the first, actually yesterday and today is the first time that I've been able to do this with no pain, because I backed off and I did some of those moves with no weight, and now I'm not going to put a lot. So the minute I start feeling it being tired, then I'm going to come up, and you might be able to stay there longer, but I'm going to come up, I'm going to rotate to the other side. So here I am. This is part of learning to deal with movement when you're in the floor. Especially if you have hips and knees replaced and you have shoulder issues and all that kind of stuff, don't close that world down. You need to be able to get in the floor and then back up. So I'm just going to switch to my other side. See? So I have a split stance with my knees. They're not on top of each other. We will do that in just a second. I'm trying to get you to do appreciable load with your shoulder in the right position. So if I were with you today at your house, or if you were in my class, I would just come over here and I would run, again, my hand right down here, and I would want to feel that shoulder into my back and keep this shoulder down. And then it's like a plumb line. I drop from my shoulder to my elbow right here. So this is some of the very things that you've been told to do in physical therapy, but we're doing it together. Okay, so now here is that very important rotation, but what am I doing with this one? Okay, so you may not think this seeming like much, but if you keep your chin tucked, some of you are already starting to really feel it through your neck, okay, because you're holding yourself in gravity. Don't hold your head up like this. Keep it in line, okay? Keep this in line. Keep your chin tucked. Rotate. See that? Yeah, I'm just hanging out here for a bit. Why? Because I'm putting gentle pressure. My whole body weight of my upper body is coming right through here right now, okay? If you have delicate shoulders, let me tell you, this is where you start doing strength work, managing your own body weight, okay? So I'm right here. I got my tummy in tight, and I'm just pressing that bar up and back, and I'm rotating through that ball and socket. And when I get to about right here, I feel the lack of flexibility right here, or not the lack of flexibility. I feel that it's pushing me. And so I'm not going to do that much. I've already put pressure on this side. Now I put pressure on this side, correct? Yes. Now I'm going to come and go straight out with my legs, okay? And I'll turn sideways so you see what I'm doing. So some of you are going to be sitting here and you're going to be saying, yeah, right, Jeannie, I can't put my legs straight out like that and sit up. Well, that's where we start. If this is difficult for you to sit in the floor and it's almost like it ain't happening, and a lot of times when I get guys down on the floor to work, it's very difficult for them to hold this position because they are so inflexible in their hamstrings. So I'm saying, don't hurt your back in the process of trying to help yourself. What did I do? Right here, I pulled my knees up. Okay, number one. Number two, I might even, if you were somebody that had a delicate back and I knew it, I might get a big old pillow and put under my knees at this point, okay? I'm gonna grab my bar and I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna have either both or one at a time knee bend, okay? That's gonna depend on you. If you can hold this position with a very extended back with one knee, then try that. My guess is in order to do that and not flex your back, you know what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to open at the hip hinge, right here, see? That keeps my back extended and it makes me really engage my core, and I have the room to go back here without killing my hamstring. It's too stretchy for my hamstring. So this kind of a motion, one leg or the other, or both, or if you can do it with two legs out, that's fine. My guess is you cannot, okay? This right here, the minute you go to this, most of you are going to round your back. I do not want you to round your back. So I want to be on record as saying that. I'm trying to help you manage this floor thing without hurting your back. So I'm going to open at the hip. See that? I engage. I hang out here for a second. I reach my hands out with my bar. Okay, at this point, my elbows have to bend because I'm going to bring that up here. I'm going to increase the load through my core right now. Whoa. And see how I'm changing? See how I'm changing my legs? But I'm not changing what? I'm not changing here. I'm staying out here. I'm keeping this back very, very extended. Okay, this is going to be pushing you. So then I would come right down here with my bar. Then I go right to the head. Look at my elbow position. I come right back down here. I keep my shoulders down. I say in through the nose, out through the nose. In through the nose, out through the nose. So once I've done this a couple of times, it should be pushing you right now, all in through here, big time, okay? Then I'm gonna bring myself right into a sit position right here. If I cannot do that, I will stay out here. The whole thing hinges on whether or not you can keep your back extended, okay? So now I'm gonna take one leg, I don't care which, see? And that's gonna help take me to the floor. If I was somebody with an extremely delicate back, I would have you roll this way, then tuck and roll this way. See that? Now I'm down, I got my bar here. It's in place. And now I can bring my knee in. I can bring my knee in I can reach my knee up. I can release all that tension that I just created by using all of my core, my hip, my hamstring, my quad. And then I'm just gonna do a little, I call it pedaling. I call this guarded pedaling. So here's what I wanna ask you. When you're doing this move, where you just bring your knee bent over your belly button, up, in, and down. Then you bring the other one in, you go up, in, and down. Okay, when you're doing that, I don't know why these guys have to hang out here. Anyway, when you're doing this, very important, when you're coming in and up, I want you to be able to put a little match car under your back, okay? You could take and say, okay, let me see, can I put the dowel under my back? Whenever I bring when I bring my knee in and I go up and I go down, can I maintain a neutral spine? So that is the task. And this is very difficult for me to take you through this to make sure that you're getting the move correctly. But this is one of the best ways I know to help. You take your dowel and you see if you can put it under the small of your back there, okay? Because I want to maintain neutral spine as I'm doing this task. Then I'm going to take my hands and just bring them up here like a dead bug. I'm going to drop my shoulders. I'm reaching up, in and down. And some of you might say, well, Jeannie, I can't get my legs straight up there. And I would say to you, then don't worry about being straight. Here's what you worry about. You bring your knee in so it's over your belly button. You've got your bar under your back to maintain neutral spine. When you take your leg up, if that's it, then that's it. Don't try to open it and straighten it out like that. Maintain neutral spine, bring it in, go up as far as you can, then bring it in and put it down, okay? And we'll just keep working at where you find yourself. Now, I can come and straight up here like this, but having this bar under my back really helps me to maintain neutral spine, okay? And as I'm doing this kind of a rotation back and forth, I'm going to do a point flex. And I'm going to bring that leg up until I feel a stretch coming through the hamstring, okay? If you lose this angle right here, if you do this out here, we'll do that at some point, but right now I'm trying to address tight hamstrings. So I want to keep the knee over the belly button, and I want to try to go straight up, and then I'll do a point flex. If I can't go straight up, don't stress, okay? Keep it right here. Keep this angle right here at the hip. Go up as far as you feel you can, but keep the knee over the belly button. Okay, then you do point flex, point flex. And I'm telling you, you get to where you can do this even 6 to 10 times, and you don't do it fast. You do it so that your body settles into and has a greater range of mobility all through your hamstring. So, and that your back is in a good neutral spine. Don't let it flatten out, because if it flattens out, that is by virtue a flexion, and we want to stay extended, or we want to stay into a nice neutral spine here. Okay. See, I'm coming up and I feel not much of a stretch. I would have to go way back here. So everybody's different. And most people though are extremely tight. So I'm telling you, the benefit of the hamstring here is all going to depend on whether you maintain this closed 90 degree in your right here at your hip hinge. okay? And so I feel a lot more stretch on this leg than on this leg, simply because this is my knee replaced side. And I have to keep working at that all the time. Okay, big breath, take that bar out. If you have it there, take it out. Now let me show you two ways to really benefit from what's called the wave. Okay, so I'm going to put my palms down, and then I'll put my shoulders down and turn my palms up. See that? So put your palms down, straight out. Okay, now drop your shoulders. Now roll it so it's palms up. Okay, and meld into the floor. And with my feet on the floor, I'm going to roll to the side, but I am not going to let my shoulder come up. Okay, in fact, I'm going to drop my shoulders even more. Now to come up from this position, it's enough of a contraction in your abdominal muscles that if you truly had very advanced osteoporosis, or if you have back issues, coming up from this kind of a transverse move, a turning move, to try to bring both the legs up, even with my feet on the floor, that's enough contraction that you could cause a fracture. So how do you get up? You take one leg up, then you bring the other leg up. See, my feet are on the floor, my shoulders are down, and then I'm going to let my one leg go and then bring my other leg right into that wave kind of an activity. This one move, when you've gotten yourself in trouble with your backs, this move done properly, you see how I lifted one leg and then the other leg? I put one leg down, then the other leg down. Okay, drop your shoulders. Big breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Take one leg up, then bring the other leg, feet on the floor. Drop one leg, then bring the other leg down and let yourself hang out here. Keep both shoulders on the ground with your shoulders down, okay? In through the nose, out through the nose. And I only do a couple of these, but I hang out there for a bit. Then I bring one leg up, then the other leg up. You got it? Okay. You can put your hands over your belly button if you want to, or you can get a book, or you can get your pillow and put it up. Your pillow doesn't work so good. You need something smaller, like a book, or your hands work fine. And you just let your shoulders down, let your elbows down, your knees are bent. Now I want you to breathe in through the nose, and I have my hands laced just a little bit above the belly button, okay? So what I want to happen is I'm going to breathe in through the nose, and I want my fingers to pull apart, and then I'm going to push down through my abdominal muscles and breathe out through the nose, not your mouth. Okay, again, I've laced my fingers. It's right at my belly button and just a little above. Drop your shoulders. In through the nose. Spread the fingers apart. Out through the nose. Push my fingers together. Push. Okay, breathe in through the nose. Spread your fingers. Now out through the nose. Make sure your spine stays neutral. It's got to stay neutral. I'm having dog problems this morning. I keep trying to get in front of the video. Anyway, okay. This, my dear slugs out there, this is deep breathing. This is the mechanics. Okay, you can sit here and push and pull all you want through here, but it has to do with your breathing in and breathing out. Breathe in through the nose, blow out through the nose, and push your belly button in. Now breathe in through the nose, expand here, and then blow out through the nose. and push down through the tummy. You got it? Okay, this is the basic mechanics of deep breathing. Okay, it's no more complicated than that. Once you know that, then you can start working with breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, and engaging your diaphragm. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to turn this into a superior stomach work. So I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to keep one knee bent. I keep my palms down. I'm going to push this leg right out here. I'm going to feel my belly button, my belly really contracting here. Okay, then I'm going to just dip. I'm going to push down and up. And every time I do it, I'm going to point my toe and then dorsiflex my toe. So I'm going to come up and then down and then up and then down. But here's the task. So this is the real question right now. If you cannot maintain a neutral spine when you're pulling this leg up and down and you're pointing and flexing, if you push down on your back, that's not what I want. I want it to have that little tiny space under your back. That's the task. You can have your hands here, you can have your hands here, turned up, but this has to maintain neutral. Okay, so I'm pushing on my heel a little, and I'm breathing in through my nose, out through my nose. I'm coming up, pointing, down, flexing, up, pointing, down, flexing. This leg is pretty straight, but if you can't maintain neutral spine, then you need to bend your knee a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, bring that foot and put it down. So you should have really felt that here in the quad and in your tummy, because your tummy's trying to maintain between your tummy and your back a neutral S-curve spine. Okay, that's very important in this move. Okay, so keep the other leg, this leg down. Now the working leg comes right about to here. See, about a 90 degrees. Okay, make sure you have a neutral spine here. Got it? This has to be engaged, but not pushing your back flat. Okay, now I'm going to go out and I'm going to do a point. I'm going to drop it into a dorsiflexion and come back up and point. So it's a down and an up. So every time you go down right to here, you want to squeeze your butt, bring it back up, release. So there's a lot going on here, okay? Number one, you've got to maintain neutral spine. You got to be able to put a little tiny car under your back at the smallest, the small of the back there, okay? Point flex. See, it's a point flex. I'm going to keep this leg as straight as possible, but if it's giving me problems and I can't control my neutral spine, I'll keep my knee bent just a little bit, okay? So it's up to you as to how much bend you need. But I can tell you that if I were with you right now, I'd be on the floor and my hand would be right under your back. Okie dokie. So this is controlling things. I'm breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, but I'm maintaining neutral spine. Okay. And then I would check your shoulders. Keep your shoulders down. Your shoulder blades are tucked into the back. Point flex, point flex, point flex. And then bring that leg in and down. So you should have really felt that right here and all through here. Now we're going to go back to the wave. Remember the wave? Sorry about this. My doggies I'm going to move the bone again. I have a big bone. I'm so glad she's wanting to even play with it right now. Okay, so here is the wave again. Keep your feet on the floor. For most of you, if you keep your feet on the floor and you drop to the side, that's how you want to do the wave. So many of you can get great benefit by keeping your feet on the floor and doing this, letting your leg drop down, then the other leg fold in. Do not try to do both. Keep pulling your shoulders down, in through the nose, out through the nose. Down, down. Big breath, big breath. Back up, okay? For some of you out there, you may want to try a more advanced form of the wave, which is right here, which is very beneficial actually if you follow the standard protocol of the move, which is take one leg down. See, my feet are not on the floor and down. And some of you should not try this. You should stay with the first move that I showed you with your feet on the floor. See how I tucked my legs in there? Then I'm going to bring one leg up, and then I'm going to bring the other leg up. Now, a lot of times, you're going to see this very move in a real advanced form of core conditioning. I'm not doing it for that right now. I'm doing it for good spine health and for getting positive benefit through the spine and the core. See how I took one leg down and then I just fold the other leg down? See that? Keep my shoulders down, in through the nose, out through the nose. Then I take one leg up, bring the other leg up. I'm right here. And at this point, before I go down the other side, I'm not going to do a ton. I just do a few. Mostly for the mobility, but the movability of how to manage yourself on the floor. So now I'm doing what's called a dead bug. See that? So I'm going to bring my shoulders up and reach, and then I'm going to tuck my shoulders down, and they come down. So this is the dead bug positioning. And I can bring my heels down and up, but the same thing applies to your lower back. You do not want to jam your back down into the floor. See, I'm coming up and back with my shoulder blades, but I still maintain a space under my spine. That makes me engage my core totally differently, okay? So I'll do that right here, and then I'll keep these here. I'll let one leg down, okay, as far as it can go, and then I just fold this leg into it. Again, some of you should not do this move. You need to go back and do the move I showed you at the get-go. You're not ready for this one. Okie dokie. So I hope that you really are honing in on what I'm trying to show you here. All right. Now I'm going to put my feet down just like that. Take a big breath. I'm going to roll to the side. Now, some of you, and I should have pointed this out, sorry, some of you have been with me for a while, know that if you're on your back, many of you have forward head and forward shoulder problems, and you cannot lay on your back like we just did without putting a pillow under your head. And I should have showed you that. Sorry about that. So don't be uncomfortable down there or you won't do that move. That's just the way it is. So I want you to do the move. So put a pillow under your head if you need it. So here I'm on the side. See this? See this? Now we're going to turn it, this whole thing that I just did is going to go into a move. We're not ready to get off the floor yet, okay? But I'm going to show you a move that could, if you did this move, if you just said, okay, I'm going to get down on the floor, I'm going to do that move on both sides 3 to 6 times, 3 times, and you did it pretty much every day. And I told you the formula, didn't I? Did I tell you the recipe for how to make yourself get on the floor? See right here? See, I'm in this position. So I could be on my chair and I could be in this position, okay? But if I'm in the floor, I'm going to go in here like I'm going to take my legs up off the floor. I'm going to turn like this. I'm going to act like I'm going to come up, but then I'm not going to come up. See, I'm going to go right back down and I'm going to go right back into this position. So there's a few sticking points here. This is a very important maneuver that I'm going to show you here that I hope you're going to do with me. So I'm right here, especially if you have shoulder issues, especially if you have things like osteoporosis, joints replaced, etc. See how wide my hands are? See how I'm going into like a sideline push-up? Do you see that? I'm going to go in here. I'm going to breathe in through my nose, bring my legs up here, push in through my feet, act like I'm coming up, but then I don't. Then I come back down and I fold back in. So see, that's the second one. Now I'm going to do one more. I told you 3 times, right? So shoulders down, in through the nose, out through the nose, drop your shoulders, tighten your tummy, press into the hands, turn, open your feet wide, act like you're getting up, but then you change your mind and you come back down. See that? That's the 3rd time. Now I'm going to go on the other side. So depending on what is your good side or your bad side, and I'll say your challenging side or not. You got to be able to get up on both, because what if you fell and you injured something and you can only do this on one side because that's all you practice it. That we're going to practice both sides. So here I am, see? So I'm on the other side, right? Go wide with your hands, number 1. Drop your shoulders, number 2. Breathe in through the nose. Act like you're going to get up. Open the toes. Push. And then you go, oh no, I forgot one of my chocolate candies that I threw on the floor. So you come down, you go ahead and fold all the way down. This is the mobility of this move. I'm doing it with you. You do it with me. Okay, ready? Drop your shoulders. Drop my shoulders. Press into my hands. Breathe in through my nose. Out through my nose. Here I am. Toes down. Press. Oh my goodness. I change my mind. I come back down. I roll back down and back down. Okay, last time, right here. And then we're gonna not get up yet. Okay, so don't think we're getting up yet. So I come right here. I breathe in through my nose. Drop my shoulders. Wide with my hands. Go into my hands. Your whole body. Now widen up your toes, curl your toes under, act like you're gonna get up, and then, oh no, you change your mind. Got it? Okay. Now we're gonna sit down. We're gonna pull the chair to us, and our feet are gonna be up here. Now I'm gonna use my little pillow, my little disc. I'm gonna put my feet up a little higher. Now, I'm setting you up and I'm going to do the most advanced form. Some of you should not put your feet on the chair. You're not ready, okay? Some of you need to do this whole move with your feet on the floor, okay? So I hope you're hearing me, because once you put your foot up here, it's going to be much more difficult. So, starting out, I'm just going to get you set up because I'm going to go up here first and then I'm going to drop down. Okay. So when you're in this position, you keep your back extended. How do you do that? You widen up here. You lean back. Okay. You help yourself down. Help yourself down. Put a pillow under your head or put your hands under there. Widen up your feet. And it's going to be a simple hip lift. Okay, so here I come up and then I go down. Now, this move is so foundational to back issues, hip issues, and knee issues that I can't even tell you how important this move is to do. So you squeeze your butt, you bring your back up like a string of pearls, but you want to maintain that S curve. So the minute you feel it going back here, you just tighten up your butt and you go ahead and lift up as far as you can, and you do it very carefully, and you just move gently your spine up and down like a string of pearls. However, you make sure that you're maintaining that S curve, okay? Now I'm gonna put my feet up on my chair. You don't have to, you just keep going. Just try to get 6 to 8. So I'm gonna push down on my heels. I'm gonna tighten up my butt. I'm gonna come up, then I'm gonna come back down, okay? Do not do this quickly. And many of you out there should not even try to do it up on a chair, okay? You squeeze your butt, you come up, and then you come down, and you stay in that nice neutral curve, okay? Push down into the heels, tighten your butt, lift, and then you come back down, and you release. Okay, big breath. I can have my palms up and my hands out to the side. I can bring my hands up over my head if possible. Squeeze the butt in through the nose, lift out through the nose, bring it down. One more, here we go. Squeeze up and then come back down. Now, you can do this from the floor and get to where you can do it a good 20 times, or 2 sets of 10, or 1 set of 10, and then put one where you're lifting a little higher and then come down, and then end with the easier one, okay? So it's going to be up and it's going to be down. All right, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Okay, take a big breath, bring one knee in, other knee in, go back into the dead bug. So this is a nice way to get your spine to settle down. All right, so it's right here. Drop your shoulders, point, flex, point, flex. Okay, now I want you to keep that neutral spine nicely tighten in, and you're just going to do a push back and forth. Very much like you're walking in place. Only pretend you're in a pool and you're doing a front back, a front back, a front back, a front back. Go over there, Ruby. Just like that. So my tummy's tight, but my back is not jammed down into the floor. It's in a neutral S curve right here. So it's a front, back, front, back. This kind of motion, this kind of stability in through your core is so important, especially if you haven't been able to do like things with your arms because you hurt your shoulder, you hurt your wrist, whatever, and you couldn't do like the traditional planking. Okay, this right here, keeping a neutral, keep a space under there, is so beneficial for your core work. Okay, take a big breath into the nose, out through the nose, bring your legs down, and now we're gonna turn and go into our wave. But now you finish it by bringing your leg up and reaching out. See, I'm reaching out here, and I just bring my leg up carefully, bring it over carefully. So very slowly, my feet are on the floor. I just go out and over gently, keep my shoulders down. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Bring it back in and back in and back in. Good, 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 good. Now I'm going to roll to the side. I'm going to be right up here. Come here. She can't get up. I have to get her up. Here we go, little girl. She can't get up yet. She's doing good. Okay, so here I am sitting in the floor again, right? Right. So I'm going to come right here. And I'm going to take my hands. I'm going to keep my knees bent. okay? And I want you to feel how you need to move in order to sit in this position and maintain a back extension with a neutral spine, okay? It might be this, see? It might be this. I don't want any issues with feeling tight or pain or, oh, that's so hard to sit that way. What do you need to do to get into this kind of position? Find that and then widen. See, I'm gonna find that position and then I'm gonna widen. And I'm gonna bring one knee up and I'm gonna just reach out, turn. I'm gonna go down here and just pull my toe. See that? So I'm not doing a huge bend. I'm doing a very small turning, reaching. I keep one knee bent, keep one leg down, and I'm not bending through my back. I'm bending through my hip. I want to push down through my hip joint right here. I want to bend that way, not through my waist. I don't want to bend through my waist, just to grab that toe and to come back up. See that? Big breath. Now I'm going to roll to the side. I'm going to do a very important addition or pairing of side bridging. We already did back bridging. Okay, that's, some people call it back bridging, some people call it hip bridging, hip lifts, whatever. Now I'm going to do the pairing. So when you do that, if you can do to the side, go to the side like we're right now. Again, it's going to take shoulder here. If it bothers your shoulder, you get your pillow and you just curl under and lay here like this, okay? Otherwise, we're right here. I'm on my hands. I'm going to tighten my tummy. And I'm going to push into my hands and lift my hips off the floor. Then I'm going to be on one elbow, one or two knees, and then come back down and curl right in here like this. Okay, see how they're split here? Okay, so I'm going to roll into my elbow. Do not lift your shoulder here. Okay, tight tummy, and I'm going to press into both hands if possible, and then lift one hand if possible. Then I'm going to come back down and come back down. Now, you might think this is a very small move. This is, again, one of those foundational moves to spine, hip, knee, all the way up, back, shoulders, everything. So I'm going to push into my heel. Come here, Mac. Come up here. Come on. Okay, are you ready? Push, lift, okay? And for those of us with both hips replaced or one hip replaced, I will tell you on this one, do not try to lift that leg up. Okay, it's way too much. But the movement that we're doing right here is necessary to get yourself off the floor. Number one, and it's a very good core work because it's gentle, okay? And it doesn't put pressure, bad pressure in your hips and knees. Okay, so I'm going to go here to the front. I'm going to go to the other side. Okay, so here I go. So this is my shoulder that I'm just easing off of a little bit. So this is very good pressure. But if I start really feeling it, I'll do one or two, and then when it gets to that point, and then I'll back off. So I'm on my hands. My elbow, I'm going to push into a bridge. See the bridge? And then come down. So I have to be tight here. All right, in control, braced. In through the nose, out through the nose. So press into the elbow, the hands. Press. Bring that bridge up. And here, see, I can, on this side, put my hip out. My leg out. On the other one, I can tell you I can't do that. So I would encourage you not to try that if you have hips replaced. If you can do this, and if you can press and get your hip up, that is excellent. And if you can do it with a hand out here like that, that is very, very good. But don't sweat it if you can't get to that point, okay? So I'm gonna bring my legs around. See, I'm only gonna do a couple. I'm gonna bring it up, I'm gonna hold it, and you get to where you can hold your whole body weight on the side in a side bridge, and anywhere from, I would say 3 to even 10 to do. That's excellent. That's what you want to do. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and get in my my all four position. See? And I'm going to take one hand and bring it right here and just bring that elbow back over my back. See that? And then bring it down. Then I'm going to shift. I'm going to hold my ground with my knees. I'm going to do a cat camel if you're having a hard time finding where's neutral. How you find where neutral is, you let your back go down like the camel, and then you go up like a mad cat, and you drop your head. You might do it a couple of times. Then you find the middle. Once you found the middle, you hang out there. Then you can do this task that I'm showing you. See how I'm pulling my shoulder blade into my back, and then I'm opening it and bringing it down. I'm keeping my toes curled under me. See? So it's stretching my whole plantar fascia from my toes down. Okay? So now I'm going to shift. This elbow is soft. I'm going to tighten up, stay neutral. Then I'm going to bring my elbow over my back and then come back down. And before I put it down, I might go over my head and then fold it down. Switch, keep your toes forward, and then go flat. Then push into them so you're stretching them. Okay, stay neutral with your spine. Keep your elbows soft. Ready? Tighten up. Bring your elbow back over bent, back over your back. So this has to do with your shoulder blade mobility. Then you bring it down and reach out. Bring it in, fold it down. One more time. Here we go. In through the nose, out through the nose. Bring your hand up. Keep your spine neutral. Bring that elbow back and then reach out and then fold it down. Last one on the other side. Here we go. Up. Bring that elbow over your back. Keep your shoulders down. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Reach, come in, fold down. Yay. Okay. Now we're ready to leave the floor. Check to make sure you've picked up all of your Dove chocolate pieces. Remember, those of you who came on early, I said that's a technique to get yourself down into the floor. Okay, I'm going to get up without a chair. If you need to use a chair, by all means, use a chair. My feet are wide. My elbows are soft. I'm going to push into my feet. I'm going to hang out here and equalize. I'm not going to just rip myself up and think I'm going to take a step because you might be a little dizzy. In through the nose, out through the nose, maybe a couple of times. In through the nose, out through the nose, a couple of times, and then you're up. Okay, let me just check my time here. I'm checking my time. Yes, we're done. Okay, we're way past done. So sorry about that, you guys. Let me do this. Okay, so this is going to be hit the floor mobility for backs and hips and everything. Good job, you guys.